Hello, I'm Scott, the breathing guy. I will train you to locate, generate, activate core key energy in physical activity. This video series is titled Tennis Serve Mechanics, and I'm going to explore the lower body, the feet, how to use your feet in your serve to aim your racket. And it's like what you do with your left foot directs the right hand to go in that direction. This is a crisscross concept involved. Also engaging the hips, how you position yourself. A lot of old players used to do it this way involved. So I'll just explain. What I've done is divide the serve into three areas. Basically lower body, that's the hips, knees, feet. Upper body is spine, shoulders, head, and basically arms, bringing the head forward. And the third area is hands. And that's based on wrist and finger ergonomics in bringing the racket to the ball in the serve. Remember, most power comes from the hands, but how you build up all that momentum, throwing the hand forward, and then amplifies the hand. It brings all that force to the hand, and then the hand convert it to that kinetic force going into the racket. Anyway, here's what I advocate. You watch most people, their feet are like this, and sometimes their toes are like this. Look at my left foot. My left foot is the key point, if you like this. Notice the direction of my toe. Wherever your toe is pointed is where your energy wants to go. When you're walking, you want your toes to be pointed straight, not to the side. That's when you're strongest, when it's pointed straight. So what would happen, you can test this. If you come up here, do it everything slow, you're going to serve with your feet like this, and you're going over to across for your serve, you almost have to jump up and your foot changes. You watch pros, that left toe, when they're hitting the ball, at the time of hitting the ball, that left toe is pointed in the direction of that other side, where they want their target to be. That's the key. The left toe is a great target thing. Now, I'm going to show you something. A lot of pros today, unlike before, they're standing like this, and they jump up, turn, and they almost lose the feet out because their form, their mechanic form of the body, the shape of the body, of transmitting the force into the racket. That's the goal. How much force can you transfer into the racket? That's the key to how to judge what you're doing on a physical, mechanical process. Now, I like if you turn the left toe at your target point. On the other side court, bring your foot down. Now that puts a lot of tension. When you see how the hips are? So when you turn like this, and then you jump, the hip is a natural amplification of the shoulder rotation. This is incorporating the whole body. Understanding that left toe, and by turning back way back, so it used to be like this. Now, I'm trying to make it very direct. Some people say, well, you're tough. Everyone on the other side of where the ball's going to get it in that little area there. But how accurate can you do it? How they spin? How fast? That's another story. But the left toe, if you make that torque in your hips like that, your hips will come through. That amplifies the snap, and see how I'm bringing my hand? So my hip turn like that. And it all depends on the left foot where the toe action is. Then when you jump or just turn, the right foot just comes around with the hip. That's it, creating the hip torque based on the left foot position. Aiming the toe at the target point is the idea here. The lower body toe action or foot action affects the hips. Now, you can just be like point here like this. Depends on your physical ability, age, or whatever. You want to make it simple, just point the left toe, make the right foot a little like this, and then you still got hip action by turning your heel up. Like that, because everything brings to a point. That's the key idea here. Your hips are turned a little, but it always comes where your toe is flat, coming through. You can even rotate past. But if you start here, you have your hips are neutralized in your serve. This is a concept. You can play with it, see if it works for you. It's another idea, but you incorporating the whole hip action to create the rotational force. This is about rotational momentum going all the way up for your shoulders to amplify, to involve. How do you incorporate the whole body as a rotational force to the hands? All the body does is transfer momentum force into the hands, so the hand creates the snap at that velocity of movement of the arms. That's another way of seeing it that way. But for sure, flowing into your serve, having your footwork set up where you create that hip action, it's just like with this head, just like this. But then you add this, you actually amplify. Remember, always use the center finger, this finger here, to pull back. None of that. Do not use the little finger and ring finger. Just use this finger. It gives you the most speed. All the other fingers are neutral. This is based on finger ergonomics. That's all. So just the idea there. But this is just a short. You can test it. But work on your left foot for you of how will determine how much rotational force do you want to transmit up to your upper body, where your shoulders are amplified, because it's the whole body turning into the serve and having good footwork. But like I said, you can look at all the pros now. When they hit the ball, that left toe and both toes virtually are aimed at the target point in the other side of the court involved. So understanding that point and playing off the mechanics of that. If you want hip rotational force going up to your upper body, do this. If you don't care about that, it's too hard, fine. But a little bit more hip rotational force can amplify. You don't have to go with real exaggeration. Just a little bit can go a long way on this point of view. But the key is pointing your toe creates less movement, more direct action. That's what I'm looking for. The more direct action I can create, the less effort and the more force I can transfer into the racket. The more joggling around, moving around, excessive force is a waste of energy and makes your body weak of transmitting force to the racket itself. I'm talking about the whole body transmitting force to the hands so the hands can do what it does best. And that's another series on the hands. So this is foot placement. My argument is using the left toe as your aiming point in the very beginning, not during the swing itself. Some say, well, you're going to tell them. They know where your ball is going to go anyway, so why not create the greatest hip rotational force being transmitted up based on your left foot placement. And that's the whole idea of taking that whole torque for your whole body around to the hands. So remember, always go lower body, upper body, and hands. Those are the three areas you have to explore if you want to enhance your serve. And my series on shoulder rotation just goes along with the hip rotation based on footwork involved. So this is tennis serve mechanics with key energy, with core breathing is the whole concept here to get you into the more fluid state, the experience and enjoy your game. Again, if you have limited range of motion here, a little bit can go a long way where you don't even hurt yourself involved. You don't have to go to extreme like when you're 20 years old, but if you're 40, 50, just put that left foot where you want, bring the back foot up, and then let your hips turn into it with that foot, pointing in that direction. But footwork does matter in rotational force of the body going to your hands, into the racket. So, have a good tennis game.